New tonight, nearly a year after a gas barbecue grill exploded at a resort on Maui, 13 victims are suing. The plaintiffs have filed negligence and liability claims against the Whaler on Ka'anapali Beach, Aqua Aston, and other LLCs involved in the building's operations. Last February's blast injured more than a dozen people and left 3 with critical wounds. The plaintiffs say the resort failed to take necessary and reasonable steps to prevent the accumulation of gas within the grills, which had no ventilation and also had locked doors with no safety protocols to test for leaks. We've reached out to the hotel and are awaiting a response.